So now My Little Pony has tried its hand at a movie a second time, with a 2014 sequel to Equestria Girls titled Rainbow Rocks. Well, technically it's a third time, but trust me, you don't want to know about that. Yep, for all you people who were worried about the first one potentially being a Disney Channel original movie knockoff, here's one that'll make you worried about it being a Gem and the Holograms knockoff. But looking past the cover, does this one manage to improve on the so-so first outing at all? Let's find out. We open in a restaurant where every single person is arguing, presumably over which one of them farted. No, the giant green cloud that nobody seems to notice is actually the work of the three girls singing in the corner. These are the Dazzlings, three magical sirens in human form who have been banished from Equestria to the human world. They have the power to control people with their singing, which they usually use to make them fight, and then feed on the negative energy that follows. Now, I don't know if they have that much more character than the movie's last villain, Sunset Shimmer, but splitting them into three so they at least have people to talk to definitely makes them more entertaining.
The energy in this world isn't the same as in Equestria. We can only gain so much power here.
For realsies? I think this place is the worst.
I think you're the worst, Sonata.
Oh yeah?
I'll tell you one thing. Being stuck here with you two isn't making this world any more bearable.
But just as they start to bemoan not being able to get as much power in this world as they could in Equestria, they spot a little scene from the first movie taking place.
It's equestrian magic. We're going to use it to make everyone in this pathetic little world adore us.
Cutting over to the school of our main characters, sort of, we see that aforementioned villain from the last movie, Sunset Shimmer, who's attempting to put the past behind her and move on with her life. But though our heroes have welcomed her into the group with open arms, the rest of the school, understandably, still has some reservations about what happened.
I turned into a raging she-demon.
And tried to turn everyone here into teenage zombies for your own personal army.
Hey, wait. The whole school accepts that what happened really was Sunset Shimmer turning into an evil, raging she-demon with incredible powers, and they all give her dirty looks, instead of being downright terrified of her? Oh look, there goes that Sunset Shimmer girl that turned into an evil demon monster and brainwashed us all into becoming her zombie army. I know, that was so lame, right? I mean, see if she ever wins school princess again. Oh, and there goes that girl who got covered with pig's blood at the prom and single-handedly killed everybody with her mind. You want to go point and laugh?
Quite the eye-catching advertisement, if I do say so myself. And it smells like cake. It does? I use frosting instead of paste.
Pinky, if you just wanted to pie someone in the face, couldn't you think of a less complicated way? Or should I be asking the writers that? So after a quick explanation that all the poster making is for an upcoming musical showcase that most of the school will be participating in, the five go off to hone the band they formed together for the event, and bemoan the problems of poor Sunset Shimmer, who just wants to make friends now.
I am never gonna live that down. The old me really was just awful, wasn't she? Thought it'd be good for them to get to know the new me before they heard all the stuff about the old me.
Now this is actually very identifiable on Sunset Shimmer's part. It's common for people in deep regret to kind of drown themselves in altruism and attempt to undo what happened. And that's not wrong, but eventually, if they're going to be happy, they have to find a way to be that they can stand behind a little more naturally and confidently. As we'll see.
1, 2, 3! There was a time we were apart, but that's behind us now. We are all together. Now it's better than ever.
Okay, now those of you who have watched my stuff before might know that I have a long and proud tradition of dancing like an idiot whenever there's catchy music around. Just look at some of my greatest hits, for example. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be upholding that tradition before we're done here, but this song's just kind of a warm-up, so I'm gonna pass for now.
Better than ever.
I still can't believe that happens when we play. Princess Twilight took her crown back to Equestria. Shouldn't that mean she took all the magic back with her?
Heard you outside. You guys are sounding really tight. I don't suppose any of our friends from, out of town might come? It being a special charity event and all.
Sorry, Flash. I don't think Twilight's gonna be back at Canterlot High anytime soon.
I just, thought I'd ask. Keep on rocking it!
Now you may be wondering if this is a sign that Flash Century will be written better and explored more effectively in this movie. You may be wondering wrong. So while Rainbow Dash forgoes practicing Fluttershy's songs to establish that that's going to come into play later, Sunset Shimmer volunteers to show a certain group of new students around.
Oh, we're having a big musical showcase this weekend.
Musical showcase?
We have been known to sing from time to time.
Hello! We sing like all the time.
What you meant to say was that being in a musical showcase sounds like a great way to meet other students.
What you said I meant to say. That's what I meant.
Huh, an evil Pinkie Pie. I like it.
And what you would have said if you weren't the worst.
You are!
You'll have to excuse them. They're idiots.
I love how she says that, like it's a perfectly casual way to explain your friend's behavior right in front of them. But sure enough, it's not long before the Dazzlings make their move.
Lunch? It's Taco Tuesday!
No, not that.
We heard you want to get together. We heard you want to rock the school. Why pretend we're all the same when some of us shine brighter?
Alright, now some of the lines in this song are a little bit obvious.
Yeah, you rise above the rest. It doesn't matter who you hurt. You're just proving you're the best.
But since it's supposed to be a spell, I can of course accept people falling for it. And actually, once you get past that, it really can be a little bit disquieting.
Here's a chance to find your flame. Are you a loser or a fighter? Me and you and me. Why don't we see who is better? We don't have to be one in the same thing. Battle, 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 battle of the fans.
So the gang reports the dark magic to Principal Celestia and Vice Principal Luna, only to find that the Dazzlings got to them first. But luckily, Sunset Shimmer has a Deus Ex Machina book that allows her to contact Princess Celestia, which she hopes to use to get Princess Twilight to come back and help them. And fortunately, it seems we can skip the first step, because the book is not in Princess Celestia's possession anymore.
Excuse me, Princess. Where do you want all these books from Princess Celestia?
The library.
Even this one that's glowing and vibrating?
Should I ask why Celestia sent Sunset Shimmer's personal letters to Twilight? They take some time for Twilight to explain who the Dazzlings are and where they come from, but newcomers be damned if you want to know why there are pony counterparts to everyone in a different dimension. For we've got a much bigger problem of how Twilight is going to get through the portal when it's not the right time of the, year, month, how did that work again? Whatever. Pinkie Pie gives her an idea.
If the connection is totally cut off, how was Sunset Shimmer able to get a message to Twilight?
Pinkie, you're a genius. The interval between the 2 points is defined as the square root of the sum of the squares of the separation between the points along 3 spatial dimensions.
Say what now?
Duh! She's gonna take the magic in here and put it in there.
Wow, that's really lazy. I mean, you could have just said it was the right time for Twilight to go through the portal. What you just did was stack one Deus Ex Machina on top of another one. I mean, at least it's plausible that Sunset Shimmer would have a way to contact her former teacher. This is just Twilight building an it's not a problem anymore machine and using technobabble as the explanation. And it didn't even involve anything that clever, like, I don't know, having Discord create a whole ton of books just like that one to make sure there was enough magic or something. So you have to wonder why it was ever a problem for anyone if it was this solvable. And why did Celestia send the mirror to Twilight too?
I'm starting to think she's not coming.
Twilight!
I'm back.
Well played. So they reunite, they talk about how the rest of the group still has magic that emerges whenever they play music, they make Sunset Shimmer feel awkward, and they decide that with Twilight around, they'll be able to use their magic to take down the Dazzlings, just like they did in the last adventure.
Imagine what a tizzy they'll be in by the time the Battle of the Bands starts.
There isn't going to be a Battle of the Bands. All right, girls, let's do this. Friendship is magic!
And then they defeated the villains 25 minutes into the movie. Next scene.
It doesn't make any sense. I should have been able to create the spark that would help us break their spell.
But to defeat me, you drew magic from the crown I was wearing. The sirens' magic comes from their music. So maybe you have to use the same kind of magic to defeat them.
Wait, does that make sense? I mean, the magic apparently came from Twilight's crown, but now it emerges whenever they play music, but now apparently it'll only work on the Dazzlings because they also use music. So, does that mean that they're harnessing the siren magic and throwing it back at them? Or, since it emerges regardless whenever they play music, does it just mean their magic is stronger against the evil Dazzlings? Or does it just mean that it has to be a battle of the bands for the magic to know to defeat the Dazzlings and—
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
So they head over to Pinky's house for a slumber party while Twilight tries to write a musical counterspell.
How's that counterspell coming? Huh? Oh, good. Great. Pizza's here! Are you wearing pizza?
Now actually, this kind of speaks to what could be the movie's downfall. We've already seen that it rushes its explanations, so intricate plotting is probably not going to be the draw here. And now it's rushing through its characterization, which would usually be the strength of this franchise. I mean, here it bothers to set up a whole slumber party scene, only to rush through it in less than a minute with no character interaction, and just to establish that Twilight can't figure out the spell. It kind of leaves me with a feeling of indifference, and if it doesn't— oh. Come in? Dear Mr. Opinion, we accidentally, in our haste, sent you the copy of this movie that was edited for television so the airtime could be 50% commercials. With our apologies, please accept the theatrical copy of Rainbow Rocks. Okay, let's see what we got here.
Hey, I was about to beat you.
I doubt it.
Ah yes, good to see she's still the wonderfully poor sport we all love. Okay, we're good. So after Sunset Shimmer and Twilight establish that they actually have a lot in common, we move on to rehearsing Twilight's counterspell, which she hasn't quite perfected yet.
That sounded way better than the last 5 times you played it.
Nope. To make sure they'll have a chance to play it on stage when it's ready, they decide to win their way through the competition until Twilight can perfect it.
Welcome to the first ever Canterlot High School Battle of the Bands.
You feel that, girls? Our true power is being restored.
Why? I mean, you haven't done anything that you didn't do before. I thought you needed the Pony Gang's magic for that.
And that's before we've tapped into the strongest magic here.
But the rain blossoms, or whatever they're called, aren't under our spell.
The rain booms are just as capable of falling apart as anyone else. They just need a little push in the wrong direction.
Wait, if they start fighting, then they'll fall under your spell? So does your singing get people to fight, or is that just how you soak up power? Because before it seemed like you were saying that you have to sing to get people to fall under your spell to get them to fight. I mean, does it have to be like a little bit of both? I mean, I've seen all 4 seasons and the first movie, and I'm confused by this movie's explanations. Not making them clear and concise is almost as lazy as just not explaining. Anyway, the group also decides to hide their magic so the Dazzlings won't suspect that they're planning to use it against them and make sure they don't get a chance. Even though the Dazzlings pretty much seem to know that already. I mean, what would they do about it?
Be cool enough to win, but not so cool that we end up showing off the whole ears and tails and rainbows thing.
Go on, you know you want to say it.
About 20% less cool. 1, 2! We've just got the day to get ready.
Wait a minute, I know this song. That's Shake Your Tail Again! Guys, that's more than 20% less cool. Also, how does neither principal notice this kind of sabotage attack happening right in front of them?
Rarity, were you trying to make us lose out there?
This was not my fault. And what was goes with the confetti, Pinkie Pie.
It was pretty distracting.
Oh, says the girl who was running from a light the whole time.
You still sounded much better than most of the other bands. You all find a place to practice where the sirens can't hear you. I'll keep an eye on things around here. You're never gonna get away with this.
Why? Because you didn't? Oh, we know all about you, Sunset Shimmer.
I've changed. I'm in a much better place now.
Waiting in the wings while your friends have all the fun. Probably afraid no one would want to see them play if she was in the group.
If it's any consolation, no one is going to remember you at all by the time we're done.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, well, you're probably long gone by now in that case, so why am I talking to you? But if you'd like to see my reviews of the short films leading up to this movie, click here. And as always, be sure to send me your Friendship is Magic videos and fan art at the end of every month so I can announce my picks for favorites in Viewer Appreciation Corner. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2. Probably put the link to that right here once I have it, but, bye.